When it came to the sixth generation of gaming, there was one genre that was king. This was, of course, celebrity extreme sports. Obviously, this genre didn't start during the sixth gen, but I felt like this was the point where it really hit its stride and that releases became far more common. And although it won't be the only company we talk about today, there was no company doing more work in this category than Activision and their publishing label Activision O2. So, with the idea of wanting to return to a style of game I used to play all the time as a kid, I thought it would be fun to look back at some of the celebrity sports games on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. Let's get started. When it comes to this topic, no name is bigger in the industry than that of pro skateboarder Tony Hawk. He's had many games over the years, but the one I chose to play for the purposes of this video was one of my childhood favorites, the original Tony Hawk Underground for the GameCube. This used to be one of my favorite games to just toss on and play the free skate mode. There's something just so intuitive about Tony Hawk games. Even starting with the lowest stats in the career mode, you're still plenty capable of doing cool things right out the gate. Even without knowing any of the buttons, I could still pull off cool tricks within the first few minutes of mindlessly pressing them. I also love the soundtrack, of course, that's a given, alongside all the customization options with both the skater and the board. It was surprisingly the first time I ever tried the career mode, and honestly, it was a lot of fun to finally try this side of the game. The concept of building up your own career is super fun and fulfilling. I wish the Tony Hawk franchise was still this good, because it's always nice to just ride around like this and it's so precisely made. This is the main non-pro blank game that we'll be looking at today, and one of the main competitors in the market at the time. Based around professional biker Dave Mirra, I really enjoyed this game. Controls were super tight, and I always felt like I had full control over every movement I made so that any mistake felt like a skill issue rather than a problem with the game. I did like the park designs quite a bit here, although after having played a few of these games, I've come to realize that only so many different ways you can remix a skate park. But at least the challenges were really cool and had a nice difficulty curve to them. The thing I didn't personally leave a mark with was the soundtrack. It was still really good, but obviously no one beats the Pro series of games in terms of licensed music. I think this game deserves to be right alongside the greats of the genre though, for sure. In an effort to compete with the Dave Mirra BMX games, Activision would release their own Pro BMX, this time starring Matt Hoffman. I personally had never heard of any other pro games than Tony Hawk before researching this video, and this isn't the only one we'll be talking about today. I personally found this one to be a lot harder to control. I don't know exactly what it was, but the bike definitely felt a lot harder to maneuver and control than the skateboarding did. And although I understand that yes, they're two different things, I'm talking more on a fundamental programming level. Nothing felt nearly as tight in this game as Tony Hawk, or even as intuitive as Dave Mirra BMX did. The one thing this game does have, though, is right alongside Tony Hawk, the licensed soundtrack. I also quite liked the career mode. The idea that you're collecting things for the tour while completing the missions is a cool concept. Like Matt Hoffman, I was completely unaware that this game existed before researching this video. Doing a surfing game is such a good idea, and it plays into the video game format super well. Control-wise, this was super smooth. Once I got the initial hang of the tricks and buttons, I felt unstoppable in a lot of the challenges that the game threw at me. Due to the nature of the sport, it has a different feel than the others, of course, but I think this was my favorite of all the ones I played for today's video. They even somehow managed to get the different beaches to look and feel different, and the hub world of the boat was a really cool thing to go back to between levels. This is definitely one of those games I'll go back to from time to time for free surf like I do in the Tony Hawk games, and I may also have to find more surfing games because, clearly, this is my thing. This was always an interesting genre during this generation, and I know why it died out, but a part of me wish it didn't. Sure, we have the Pro Skater remakes and they are amazing, but some of the other sports deserve to come back too. There were two pro sports games that I wasn't able to find in time for this video, Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarding and Wakeboarding Unleashed, So there's room for a sequel to this video down the line. I'd also love to do a whole history of the Activision O2 branding at some point and look at all of the Pro games back to back. So if that interests you, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe while you're down there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.